Now, over 40 civil society organizations have jointly called for a forensic audit of the public institutions in Nigeria to promote transparency and accountability, citing the high levels of corruption in the country. In a press conference held in Abuja, the representatives from civil society organizations highlighted the urgent need for action amidst growing concerns about the integrity of Nigeria's democratic processes. The Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, Awal Rafsanjani, singled out judicial corruption as a significant obstacle to anti-corruption work in Nigeria, emphasizing the need to strengthen the judiciary and hold corrupt judicial officers accountable.
Judicial corruption constitutes a major challenge to anti-corruption work in Nigeria. The looters have repeatedly used their influence to manipulate the judicial process and system, to block and delay or arrest or prosecute of suspects. This blatant disregard for the rule of law has eroded public trust and imposed the perception that Nigerian democracy is nothing more than a facade. Clearly, the judiciary is not living up to its responsibility of ensuring that the rule of law and provision of the constitutions are upheld. As you can see that many Nigerians, they are even afraid to go to court because if you don't have money to bribe, you may not get justice. And if the administrative justice system is working against the general public, then it means that people will lose confidence in our judiciary. We also know that there are men and women of integrity in the judiciary, and that is why they need to rise up to rescue the image of the judiciary. There has been several allegations of judicial officers receiving bribes from politicians and politically exposed persons in order to circumvent laws. This has watered down the respect, trust, confidence of citizens in judiciary and negatively impacted in the fight against corruption in Nigeria.
Now, in response to these challenges, the coalition presented a series of recommendations which include measures to strengthen the judiciary, hold politicians accountable, allocate adequate resources to anti-corruption agencies, and mobilize religious and community leaders in the fight against corruption. The recommendations, they said, is aimed at combating corruption and promoting accountability in Nigeria.
To truly establish a flourishing democracy, transparency and accountability must be strictly adhered to in governance. This requires holding politicians accountable for their actions and inaction, strengthening institutions to combat corruption, and ensuring that the allocation of resources is done in a fair and equitable manner. Only through these measures can Nigeria overcome its socio-economic challenges and build a democracy that truly serves the interests of the citizens. We urge the ruling All Progressives Congress Party and other political parties to take decisive action in purging its ranks by denouncing and breaking support with their members who are currently being investigated by anti-corruption agencies. This can be operationalized by suspending all members tainted by corruption allegations and ensuring that they are held accountable before the law. Adequate resource allocation to the anti-corruption agencies has become imperative to uphold their independence and enhance efficiency in the anti-corruption process. It is essential to prioritize adequate funding and support for anti-corruption agencies to prevent corruption and promote accountability. Through this, the present administration will demonstrate its commitment to fighting corruption.
It's reprehensible, it's unacceptable, this amount of attacks on anti-corruption agencies. Because what we do when we attack these institutions, especially when they act to advance public interest, we're undermining democracy and the rule of law. And that should not be tolerated.
Despite the 2-decade-long existence of democracy in Nigeria, the call for urgent action serves as a reminder to the collective responsibility to safeguard Nigeria's democratic ideals.